Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. And yeah, thank you my members, the full crew members over Lane 11B, Cots and Crazy Blue, thank you for helping out. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So today we're going to take a look the same way as we did before today on the Sea Harrier. Of course, as you know, if you are following the channel, the F-16, a lot of not a lot, but some F-16 files were found in the files of the dev server. Basically some gauges and stuff like that from the cockpit. So basically, yeah, we are probably going to get the F-16 at some point anyway, but maybe this patch. So I just wanted to make a video. I already did a diving down series of videos on that, so you can check it out. But I actually wanted to make a video on just the variants that we would see, basically the start of the F-16 history on War Thunder, okay? So obviously the first country that comes to mind is obviously the US. So the US was the main user of the F-16, even though the F-16 was used and is being used by many nations. The US is the primary one, and it basically used every single variant of the F-16, so they can do basically anything that they want, okay? They can add a block 5, a block 10, a block 15 without BVR, for example, or add one with the ADF, which is basically the better improvements of the ADF that basically made the F-16 do BVR, you know, the F-16As. These are all F-16As, by the way, you know. So yeah, basically from the block 1 technically to the block 20, they are all F-16As. So the US could get even a block 1. It was just tiny little numbers and it had a black nose and it's different. Maybe even as an event vehicle. We can have the block 5 or block 10 without the ADF program to just be kind of a super F5 Tiger, you know. So that actually would be pretty alright to see, to be honest. And I think it's just a matter of time until we see that, to be honest. Maybe after that we can get the block 15, maybe with the IDF, maybe an early variant with just the AIM-9, and then a variant with the block 15 having the sparrows and stuff like that. Then we have the other countries like Italy, Israel, and China. Obviously, they have their own designs and their own modifications and stuff. Not their own designs. Israel has its own kind of modifications, but each aircraft will have its own unique features, basically. So, for example, first let's talk about Italy. Italy basically have the ADV, the ADF variants, you know, block 15s. So it will already be able to do BVR no matter what, you know. And it has a little bit of a better radar and stuff like that. So I think Italy should just get it. Doesn't matter what the US gets at first. I think Italy just should get it, this version, just because Italy kind of needs a better fighter, you know. So it needs a better fighter more than the US needs one. So even if the US don't get an F-16, even though that would make a lot of US mains very mad, I would just be fine with it, just because Italy really needs a new aircraft, top tier, you know. So yeah, basically it would be the block 15, which is a little bit better. It has some improvements on the fuselage and stuff like that, and the older block 5s and 10s. Better engine a little bit as well. But the main thing is that these all were from like 2003 was the project, I think, the lease, because it was basically a land lease for just to wait until the actual typhoons came, you know. So it made it kind of a stopgap until the typhoon actually came, which means, yeah, it's an aircraft that is very modern. It will still have the AIM-9s and stuff like that, but it could carry in real life the AIM-120. Right now, I think it's too much to have the AIM-120, and I couldn't find any information about the F-16As of Italy actually using the Aspide or AIM-7Fs or AIM-7Ms. I really couldn't find anything. I would guess that they could, at least the Aspide, but no idea, to be honest. Because of that, maybe just adding with the AIM-9Ls would be fine. because it would basically means that every single one that we get would be kind of just outside of the BVR department, and when AIM-120s come, you know, the F-16A of Italy would receive it, the AIM-120, as one of the primary weapons, you know. So it would make sense, basically, you know. Then we have the Israel. Let's talk about Israel first. Israel has many different programs to build, to buy the F-16s. The Peace Marble 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's so many, and there are their own modifications, like the F-16A nets or the F-16C Barak, I don't know, F-16Y Sufa, and yeah, there's many variants of the F-16 for the Israeli Air Force. But to be honest, I think we really should get the Peace Marble 1, basically, which are technically block 10s, you know, so we would make it so that it's not able to carry any BVR at first, you know, and then later they can actually add the block 30s or something like that as the F-16C to actually be able to carry the BVR. So we would make Israel have actually 2 versions. Maybe even the F-16A nets could be a thing, but I couldn't find the exact things that they did to the nets, but it's just basically more advanced avionics and systems and stuff like that, but it's still made by Israel, the upgrade itself. So maybe we can have that to be a little bit different than the other ones, but maybe without the AIM-7s at first, or AIM-120 obviously, and just the AIM-9s, Ls, you know. So that would just make sense, to be honest, for me. And maybe using the Python 3. I couldn't find if he actually used the Python 3. I could find that they used the Python 4 and 5, which are too advanced for now. But maybe the Python 3, I would imagine that they used as well. But if not, the AIM-9L would be just already pretty amazing. One of the best missiles in the game right now. So kind of doesn't matter, you know. It would be pretty alright, to be honest. Obviously, remember, all these F-16s, they have the APG 66, which is the same radar that we have in the EJ Kai, but obviously there are some modifications done to it, some more advanced versions that have TWS and have other modes and stuff like that. So yeah, just have that in mind, that it's not that simple, you know. But yeah, just remember, F-16 on the Israeli Air Force, we can have like 4 different models, to be honest. Israel will be one of the main operators of the F-16 until this day. So we will have, during the life of War Thunder, we will have a lot of F-16s. So I think, in my opinion, the normal Block 10s, there are Block 5s that were converted to Block 10s, but still, 75 of them, A's and B's. And yeah, pretty amazing Air Force and aircraft to have for grind, you know. So yeah, but after that, the last nation that should get it, because the Japanese Air Force should not get the F2 right now because it's too advanced. It's technically even better than all the F-16Cs in some areas. So yeah, it just turns better, and yeah, you're not gonna get too much into it. But China, so China has the Peace Feng Huang program. 1992 basically onwards, they bought the Block 15's OCUs, later renamed the Block 20s. They're the only operator to use the Block 20s, if I'm not mistaken. But basically they are the same as the normal Block 15s with the ADF OCU programs, you know. So we will have the capabilities of using the AIM-7s from the get-go. It would be the only aircraft that, if they don't add the AIM-7s, it would be kind of weird, you know. Because the F-16As of Israel, you can have an argument of not having BVR or having it, Italian one as well, and the US one as well. But the Chinese one, it has to come with BVR, you know. It is, as I said, Block 15, normal F-15, Block 15, but with the OCU and MLU packages. So they have the ability to carry the AIM-7M, AIM-9M, and AIM-9P4. So they would be able to actually use the AIM-7F as well, probably, and the AIM-9L. I didn't know if they actually used it, but probably it's just normal to be used with it. It would normally, all these F-16s would normally carry 2 Sparrows and 4 AIM-9s. That would be the main armament. Obviously with the AIM-120 when it's added, it's another thing, but still, it is one of these aircraft would be basically, the F-16 is a light fighter that it can do a lot of other things, but it's specialized as a light fighter. So as I said, it is a super F5. So imagine an F5 being more powerful, turn better, have better missiles, and still having BVR. So pretty cool. And it can do air to ground as well with the Mavericks and even harpoons and stuff like that. So yeah. So I just think that the Chinese F-16 would be one of the most advanced ones initially, you know, because that's not my personal opinion, to be honest. Gaijin always adds the first variants of these aircraft if they are iconic enough. So probably we'll see the US variant being like one of the earliest ones. But if China, for example, gets the F-16, it has to be a more advanced one because it's the only one that they used. So it depends very much on the country, okay? But it would make it very, very cool to have these 4 nations with different types of modifications, missiles, and radars and stuff like that to be kind of unique for each 3, you know? So yeah. But basically this is it. So remember, the US could get anything, basically from the Block 1 to the Block 15, with the AOCU, with the MLU, with the ADF. Then Italy needs to get the Block 15 ADF. So I don't know if it uses the Spite or Sparrows, but same stuff. It is the Block 15 ADF. Israel can get the Block 10s or even the F-16A nets, which is a little bit more modified, different from the original ones. And then China can receive the Block 15 OCU, to be honest, which is the Block 20, right, for them. So, to be honest, they could add just the normal ones, you know, the Block 15s for everybody, and it's fine, and give AIM-7s to everybody. It would make sense. Probably Italy actually have the capabilities on the manual to actually use Sparrows, but it's probably didn't use it because it had already AIM-120s, and that's already enough to be added to the game. Because if you know, the F4F has that same thing, you know. Didn't use the AIM-9J in real life, the F4F, but it was tested with it, and it had in the manual that it could use it. So Gaijin considered that it can use it, so it is in game. So it's basically the same. If the Italian manual of the F-16 would say that it can use the Aspide or the AIM-7, it's enough, and it will get it. Okay? Basically, this is it. Let me know in the comments what you think it is the variants that we are going to see. Remember, probably just the A, if at all, you know. I still doubt that we will see in this patch the F-16, but one can hope, right? And yeah, basically this is it. Thank you all my Flogger members and Fishpan members, and I see you guys on the next one. So bye guys.